How's it going, guys? You're watching Radiator, and today I just wanted to talk about the MORA rad that you see on the wall behind me. Now, I must have bought out the build video for that radiator around 2 years ago, and still to this day I get a lot of questions and just general interest in the radiator itself. So I thought, considering I'm still using it within my current loop, it makes sense just to bring out an update video, how it's currently configured, how I'm getting on with it, and most importantly, do I still think it's worth it 2 years on? So for those of you that don't know, this is the MO-RA3 Pro radiator in the stainless steel finish. Still running the exact same spec it was 2 years ago, so still got the 200mm Noctuas, the 200mm EK Res that I got a lot of stick for, the two EK D5 pumps in tandem, and of course the Baratech temperature gauge. Now, I will sort of align with a lot of the opinions. This reservoir has got to go. I did actually buy a 200mm heat killer res to go on this, but I just haven't really found the time to get it stripped down to do it yet. As you might imagine, this is an absolute ball ache to do. So yeah, I would say in the near future that res will be getting switched out. And I also, when I do that, want to switch out the temperature gauge for a flow meter and temperature gauge combo. So starting off with the negatives, I would say one of the biggest things about this rad that's been a problem is its sheer size. So this is one of the reasons it's mounted onto the wall, just because I really didn't want it on the floor, because this thing is just fucking huge and it is an absolute dust monster, which I'll get onto next. So I didn't want it on the floor, and I definitely didn't want it taking up sort of any more desk space, so it's on the wall. Now you can buy a wall mount kit for these directly from Watercool, but in all honesty it's quite expensive for what it is, and also I find it's very close to the wall. So I just went to sort of my local hardware store, bought my own brackets, my own wall fixings, and I've managed to sort of make it quite a bit further away from the wall, at least at a space that I'm comfortable with. The only thing I'll say, if you do put it on the wall, like I said, the wall fixings, just make sure you're buying some really strong wall fixings, as you do not want this coming off the wall, because once it is full of coolant, this thing is really heavy. So yeah, that's one of the only biggest drawbacks. The biggest drawback I'd say is its size. The second one, and this is more of a pain in the arse thing, is like I said, this thing is just a dust monster. So this just seems to pull dust from every single country apparently, because I mean, we vacuum this room every single day. It's not a dusty room, but somehow this finds it. And I would say it's obviously just down to the fact it's got 4 200mm fans. So the reason it's a faff is because it's not just a case of giving this a quick wipe down. Like, to clean this properly, you have to remove this entire shroud, which is just a pain in the arse, especially being on the wall. So yeah, this does spend a lot of its life just looking quite dusty and grubby. So yeah, moving on to the way it's configured, and then we'll start talking about some of its pros. I've currently got this powered off one independent PSU. The reason for that is because, again, I'm being lazy, and it's quite a distance from the PC, as you can see. So I didn't have any sort of Molex cables or fan header cables that had an extension long enough, and I didn't want to sort of daisy chain them. So I need to make up my own cables, which I will do soon. I just haven't got round to it because, in all honesty, obviously with it running on a PSU on a jumper, this thing runs 100%, which you think would be really annoying because the fans are going 100% of the time and the pumps are going 100% of the time, you know, on full chat. But these fans do such a great job at staying quiet. It really hasn't bothered me, which is why it sort of stayed like it has. But one thing I'm getting concerned about is, obviously with it running full blast all the time, is just wearing these parts out, you know, quicker than what they should do. So because this stuff isn't cheap, I want to look after it. So I will get around to making up some cables so I can manage, you know, everything off the PC and, you know, the PWM. But we'll get around to that soon enough. As far as it goes for how I've got this sort of the loop configured, we go obviously from the rad to the res, from the res to the pumps, and then we go into the inlet and the outlet, which is flexi hose, and that comes all the way underneath the desk. Around about here, I've got 2 quick disconnects so I can isolate the radiator from the system very easily, and they come up over the back, and then they are currently calling the CPU, which is a 14900K, and as you can see, it goes into a mono block. And then for the GPU, I've got 2 radiators, 2 360 rads working in tandem to call that. So 2 independent loops. Now, like I touched on in the beginning of the video, do I think these radiators are worth it in 2025? I would say in 2025, personally, these radiators are more relevant than ever. And that's purely because of the heat that these components kick out these days is just nuts. And these radiators, they really come into their own with this sort of stuff. Now, you're never going to see a radiator bring anything down below your ambient temperature. But what you will see in a rad this size is it will take care of a lot of the temperature spikes that you're prone to with using an AIO or even a smaller loop. You know, so erratic movement in temperature, you really see it become a lot more linear with something this size. Now, obviously, that is not that important. It's definitely not going to affect you in most cases, these temperature spikes. But if you're into overclocking, even putting like a small overclock on just to maximize your GPU or your CPU, you're going to get a lot more of a stable overclock with nice stable temperatures. As a small spike, can be the difference between stable and unstable. So if you're an enthusiast and you like to tinker, I would say these radiators are definitely worth it. If you just sort of want run-of-the-mill, easy going, then probably not, as the faff factor is just not worth it. So yeah, if you want the absolute best, then yeah, I 100% think these radiators are definitely worth it. I am going to trial at some point running this whole system off the MORA rad on its own, just for a noise perspective, because I've started getting into streaming a bit, and so noise has become quite important to me, keeping it down at least. So these can be very noisy. In fact, I'm going to turn it on so you can hear it. So I'm going to shut up for a second so you can hear this. Now, I'm not sure how much of that picks up on camera, but I can tell you in real life, that is not very noisy at all. And that's one of the reasons it's been left like it has done. Now, when we turn on the main system, which is 7 fans, so this has got the EK Vardar fans, 120s. So we've got obviously 3 on the front, 3 on the back, and then just 1 moving air on the top. Obviously, it does its really loud spool. But once this calms down, so I'll be quiet again. Now again, I'm not sure how much the camera's going to pick up, but from my perspective, like, this makes a hell of a lot more noise. So I want to trial it of running this system off 1 rad. I might actually make a video out of that. If you want to see it, let me know down below. I want to see how that goes for noise, because if I can have this noise alone while I'm streaming, that's chef's kiss. That'd be perfect for me. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Any questions you have at all, leave them down below. If you've got one of these radiators and you're doing something different to me, something you think I might benefit of, let me know what it is. And yeah, let me know. And if you're not subscribed, do get subscribed. Like I said, I've started streaming now, so I'm going to stick to the tech vids. So the anything water cooling, PC related, that will still come out in video format. And then generally I'll stream some games in the evening. So come around and say hi. So yeah, as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it, and we'll catch you in the next one.